Hi guys, welcome to Scorched Earth Tarot. This is going to be a mid-month reading for the sign of Taurus, Sun, Moon and Ascendant. Let me explain a little bit how this is going to be different to the general monthlies that I do. It's going to be a snapshot of where you are right now in the middle of the month, what's coming up for the next couple of weeks, and any advice. As such, it's going to be shorter than the normal general videos. Excuse me. Yeah, so we're looking at maybe 10-15 minutes. I'll not keep you long. That's the plan anyway. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for the continued support. I really appreciate it. If you are new to the channel, welcome. And I hope you'll consider subscribing. What else to tell you? All the stuff about personal readings and that sort of thing is down in the description box, so go and have a look down there. Yes, I had not actually planned to start these until tomorrow. I'd scheduled in a bit of time to do that. But I seem to have acquired a non-corporeal guest. It's kind of moved in the last week and been lobbing things at me recently. And about an hour ago, it lobbed a tarot book at me, and I assumed that that was a hint that I should go and start these readings. So that's what I've done. Also, my sage burst into flames in my cauldron, which was unexpected. I had to take it outside because it just would not stop burning. It's the second time in a week that's happened. Very strange. Actually, frankly, ridiculous, but never mind. So, the way I did it with Aquarius, which is the only other sign that I've done so far, was to pull cards as the video was rolling. And that is indeed what I did with you. But I managed to talk for the whole video without actually pressing record. And the reading was so good, I absolutely refused to put these cards back in the deck without re-recording it. So that's what I'm going to do. I can absolutely assure you that these cards came out as they are. But I think once I start getting through the reading, you'll understand why I didn't want to put them back, because the message here was too good. Like, it was too good. And if you are one of the Taurians, to whom I am referring, you know, the energy that I'm picking up on, then you deserve to hear this. Absolutely. So, the first card that you got was the Seven of Wands. A Seven of Wands is a card of feeling defensive. It can be defensive of a project, of something that you're passionate about, and with it being wands, that's absolutely possible. Or it can be of people, or it can be of yourself. And it came out with the Sun, card of Leo, 19 in the Major Arcana, and the World, or the Universe as it is in this deck, card number 21. And while I was reading, you know, these cards, I decided that what I wanted to do was pull a couple of other cards to see how they all connected together. And the first card that came out was the card of Pisces, the High Priestess, sitting between the Seven of Wands and the Sun. And as soon as I saw this card, I knew that the Taurus that I'm connecting with, or the Taurians, plural hopefully, that I'm connecting with, we're looking to make a bridge between feeling defensive and getting in touch with their inner child, because that's what the Sun means to me. So other people say it's like literal children, and I can totally see the validity in that interpretation. But for me as a reader, the Sun talks about getting in touch with that innocent part of you, that untainted part of you, the part of you that represents who you were when you were first born, when you were completely pure and unjaded, unaffected by your environment and an experience, actually. And then the High Priestess came out. And the High Priestess talks about wisdom and secrets and hidden knowledge. And so I felt very strongly that what the Seven of Wands was actually talking about was not defending against an external entity or person or situation, but actually that this represented you. There are invisible assailants on this card. You don't actually see who is standing underneath them, like prodding them with sticks. All you see is this person in the middle, and I take very strongly that this person is you. But I feel like these other ones are also you. And it seems like where you are energetically at the moment is in a state of inner reflection. Because it's slightly nuanced. If the Hermit had come up to represent, to clarify this card, I would have assumed that it was you knowing that you attacked yourself with certain things and going within to find the answers as to why you did that. But the High Priestess already has the knowledge, and I think that's really important, because what I see here is you attacking yourself with things that you've said before, things that you've thought before, things that you've done before. These assailants are invisible because actually they're not external to you. They're absolutely internal to you. And I think you've probably spent a very long time hauling yourself over the coals over and over again about the way that you behaved or what you said, or take it as it resonates to you. And you've used it as a stick to beat yourself with. The energy that I'm getting for the last 2 weeks of November, and how coincidental that we should happen to be in a Mercury retrograde at the moment in Scorpio, no less. So we're digging really deep, because that's what Scorpio does. I think that you know why you do it. And I think you've had enough. Because what you're looking to do is you're looking to cast all of that out. You're looking to reconnect with your inner child. You're looking to reconnect to who you were before all those experiences that you had jaded you. This chap here, he's only got one wand, but he's holding it loosely, and it's not a weapon in his hand. It's to assist him. He's using it to hold himself up straight, rather than, protecting himself, defending himself against all this oncoming stuff. I think you've got to the point where you are sick of beating yourself up about things, and you've realised it's not working. You know it's not working, and you're looking for a different way of getting in touch with this inner child, but getting out of this energy as well. And you know what it is. You're going deep within to find the knowledge that you already have. The second card that you had was Judgment. And I felt like that very much confirmed what I was thinking, because it's another card of judging. It's another card of judging yourself all the time. You're attacking yourself all the time. Here's Judgment to confirm that. I think you're done. I really do think you're done with it now. I think that you've realised that life is too short to continue the way you have been doing. Maybe it's time to do things differently. It's not a coincidence that you're doing it in the retrograde. That's exactly what the retrograde is for. That's what that energy is for. And then we come to the universe, or the world as it is in a standard deck. And this talks about closing out cycles. Most importantly, it's talking about closing out the cycle that you are currently in, and I think I get very strongly that this is a major cycle for you. And in future there will come a point where you consider yourself this to be the tipping point of you being who you were for as long as you have been that person, into something new, into something a bit more joyous, into something a bit more innocent, into something that is less a slave to the negative experiences that you've had over your lifetime. This card is absolutely beaming with that gentle joy that we forget as adults it's possible to experience, and it absolutely is possible to experience it. But sometimes we need to dig a little deep for it, and that's what you're doing this month. And in doing so, you are closing out an old way of being. And the final card that I pulled to bridge these three main cards together was the King of Pentacles. And I thought that was quite interesting because that's fixed earth, that's you, that's Taurus. There's an alignment here. Earth energy is your energy. It's what you're all about. It's slow moving. It's fertile, actually. You know, things that put into the earth will grow slowly, but if looked after correctly, they will grow strong. But it's not major arcana, which is interesting because the other two cards there were. I feel like you're putting more emphasis now on this and reaching this than these notions of material wealth. However that applies, because it doesn't need to be money. You know, it's all the things around us that keep us safe and keep us warm and keep us fed. I feel like you're turning your mind upwards to other things and inwards to other things. You're trying to wake that child up, because the King of Pentacles is many things, but what he's not renowned for is playful joy, playful innocence. He's concerned with family, yes, looking after his loved ones and making sure that everybody is protected and safe and fed and watered and clothed and shoed and shod and has a roof over their head in its most basic form. You know, obviously further up he's quite opulent, I guess, you know, and then we start to get into notions of luxury and wealth and status. But just as it's a smaller card, you know, smaller in stature, it's a smaller energy. And I think you're really starting to come into alignment with who you are. And that's to be applauded, because you're looking to close out this old cycle, this old way of being things, doing things. The next set of cards that I pulled were asking what was coming up next for Taurus in the next 2 weeks. And we've got the Four of Wands and we've got the Nine of Cups. The Four of Wands is a beautiful card. It's a 4, so it's about stability and structure somewhat, which are things that Taurus likes. But it's about your home, whatever that means to you. And that could be the four walls that you sit, you know, within, or it can be somebody who feels like home to you. It's about that thing being worthy of your level of investment in it. And the King of Pentacles invests. He knows the importance of investing. And like I said, this doesn't have to be a physical structure. This can be, you know, a set of friends. It can be some sort of institution that you found like-minded people in, or it can be a group of friends that you just feel like you've come home to when you get together. You know, take it as it resonates to you. It can mean a wedding as well, actually. You might have a wedding coming up at some point in November. And then the Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment. And as I've said that, it's quite interesting. She always looks to me on this card like she's sat in a wedding dress. And she's alone in this card, and I think that that's important, because I feel like what's coming up for you between the 15th and the 30th of November is the understanding that you're actually in a very privileged position. Your life, such as you've constructed it, is actually a pretty awesome place, and envied, I would think, by a lot of people. Not only that, it's actually what you always wanted for yourself. It's just that you've lost sight of that at some point, probably when you were busy attacking yourself for something that you said 10 years ago. You know, the card that I pulled to bridge the gap between these two was the Moon. And this is another card of going within, sometimes a card of Pisces, just like the High Priestess. I should add the shadow card at the bottom of the deck at that point was the Hanged Man as well. It talks about changing perspective on things. I think what's coming up for you in the month of November is a proper, deep, true understanding of the fact that you have constructed for yourself the perfect life for you, and you did it by yourself. This is a solo card. You may have had assistance to do it, but ultimately all 4 posts on there, that castle in the background, it's all been built by you, slowly and carefully and methodically. And even if, you know, at points you haven't appreciated, what you've got is actually pretty special. And this is another card of going within. For me, it's the subconscious, it's the things that motivate underneath. And the fact that it bridges the gap between, you know, structure, possibly physical structure, but if not, you know, your social structure, with wish fulfillment. It's you suddenly coming into the realization that this is exactly the life that you want for yourself. And that you've maybe wasted quite a lot of time in this mode, you know, attacking yourself. Usually before somebody else can get in there and do it for you. Yeah. You're looking for a new way to be. And the only thing that's really changing here, or has changed recently, is your perspective on it, it's your take on it, it's how you perceive it. But that's the most profound change that you can ask for. The last 2 cards that I asked for were 2 cards of advice, and to, you know, smooth the way. And we got the Wheel of Fortune and the World again. Now, as cards of advice, I would say that Wheel of Fortune tells you to remain a bit fluid. I know you're a fixed earth sign, so that's kind of like asking it to rain upwards, but do the best you can, because something's coming in for you. You're about to have an upswing of fortune. And, you know, from what I've seen here, you've been doing your shadow work, you've been going within, you've been finding ways to be kinder to yourself, getting a new perspective on how wonderful your life is, changes your energetic frequency, it raises your vibration, and the universe responds, and it's going to respond towards the end of November with something exciting. Because the Wheel of Fortune only ever turns up for me here when the wheel is turning and you are on an upward trajectory, not the other way around. Right? So you're doing the work, changing your perspective, getting in touch with your inner child, realising what a wonderful place your life is and how it would be the envy of many people. But more importantly than that, it's the life that you want for yourself. You are totally the commander of your own ship. The universe is going to reward you for it. Both of these cards depict the 4 fixed signs in the corners, right? So there's Taurus, there's you, there's Leo, Aquarius and Scorpio. The thing I love about this card is that all 4 of those characters are reading books, they're acquiring knowledge. It might be that books are important to you for some reason, there may be something to do with books that's the thing, but they're acquiring that knowledge. Here at the World, they don't need those books because they've done their work. This card's asking you to acknowledge the fact that you are closing out a cycle, a really big, deeply significant cycle in your life. It is ending. You're moving on to something new, a new way of thinking, a new way of being, a new way of living your life, a new way of appreciating your life. And you need to take a moment to be proud of that, because it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of effort. I feel like you've had some help along the way. It's Angel in the Judgment card here. You may have had help from Spirit in some way, just kind of giving you those little nudges. But ultimately, you're the one that's done the work. And the universe is about to respond in kind. So I'm going to leave it there, Taurus. I'm sorry it hasn't flown quite as nicely as it did when I was actually reading it, rather than just going back over it again. But yeah, congratulations, Taurus, you've achieved a lot here, and I'm proud of you. Yeah, so I'll see you in, oh my God, I'll see you in the December monthlies.